Alright, I thought this could be an interesting idea for a video. Patrick Mahomes over the years has had many opportunities in the playoffs to come through in some clutch ways, and I figured let's go through each of them, kind of recap what happened, and give a running tally of how many times he did exactly what the team could have asked for. He was kind of close, but not exactly what you could ask for. And then the times he just failed to come through altogether. The two clutch types of situations I'm going to go over here are either his team is down or tied in the fourth quarter in the final 10 minutes, or his team is up one score and he has a chance to ice the game by making it 2 scores. The first one we're going to go over, actually the first couple we're going to go over, was in the conference championship game against the Patriots. I think we all remember the end of that game, but I don't know if we all remember the final 10 minutes, which were actually pretty chaotic. First, you had this one where you see that Patrick Mahomes on this play. I'm going to have to pause this just for copyright reasons for a bit, but on the final play of the drive, he ends up just flipping it to the halfback, who then takes it the rest of the way. But they were able to, from down 3, take the lead with 7:45 left. So this one is going to go in the perfect category because it was a perfect job by him. Can't ask for more than a go-ahead touchdown. Later on in the game, this would happen where you would then have, there's now 3 minutes left. Again, the Patriots took the leads, and this was kind of how this game went. You're going to see Patrick Mahomes, he actually could have thrown an interception here, interestingly enough. I wonder how we view that game differently had that pass been caught, but shortly after he has this long pass to Sammy Watkins, and the drive finishes with a touchdown. So again, another one in the perfect category, and we'll have to stay here for a little bit longer because the other one we're going to talk about in this game, the final one, only 30 seconds left. I mean, it's kind of crazy that they were able to convert here with just a single timeout. Mahomes on this play avoided the pressure and was able to get the ball to midfield. They then later on, this play, no timeouts, but there was an offsides, which gave the Chiefs a free first down. They were ultimately able to convert there as well. So in his first ever close NFL playoff game, he had 3 clutch opportunities and was 3 for 3 in them. The next one was actually the Super Bowl against the 49ers. Keep in mind, they were down 10 with like 7.5 minutes left, but that first one, they were, that's not a drive where they had a chance to take the lead. So not including that, I had to come up with strict rules. That does not follow the strict rules, so excluding that one. But in this situation, there's now less than 3 minutes left. Mahomes did lead a nice drive here. They were able to convert. So right off the bat in his, he's now 4 for 4, and 3 of them being a conference championship game, the 4th being a Super Bowl. Next up, we are going to the 13-second game, but everyone maybe forgets that this was not the only, clutch moment Mahomes had in that game. This play, it's going to be another longer one that'll have to pause for a second for copyright reasons, but you see he makes a nice throw to Tyreek Hill, pausing it here. It is worth mentioning he did have a nice throw on an earlier third down to Kelsey to keep this drive alive. Hill takes it the rest of the way, gets into the end zone, and again, we're not done. We now have to go over here. Obviously, the Bills would then retake the lead. All right, I gotta adjust my ranking, now 5 for 5, and it's about to be 6 for 6. I'll just do it right now because what's gonna happen here is we'll watch what happens. I mean, you know what happened. Patrick Mahomes takes the snap, he flips it to Hill, who then goes close to midfield and then able to hit Travis Kelsey. Since they had timeouts, they were able to ultimately tie the game, and then we'd have this. So again, not quite over yet. Everyone always talks about how, if only the coin toss went the other way. The Chiefs still had to convert in this situation. However, convert is exactly what they did. They were able to score, and Patrick Mahomes starts off a clean 7 for 7 in this situation. Now we got to go over here. This was the 2021 AFC Championship game, and what's going to happen here is, so there's 6 minutes left. Mahomes does, they're down 3 points. Mahomes does have a nice drive to allow them to get into field goal range. However, he actually fumbled while in field goal range on third down. Luckily for him, Joe Thuney recovered that, or people are probably still talking about that as a time he made a huge mistake. I mean, that's a huge mistake. 30 seconds left, down 3 in field goal range to fumble the ball. They kicked the field goal as time expired, but then we have to go to overtime. So this was good, but it was not perfect. So got to put 1 in that category. Next up, we're going over here. So I brought up the winning the coin toss thing. The Chiefs would win the coin toss. So, okay. And in fact, I still stand by, everyone says the Bills game was the game that changed the rules. I still stand by, this was actually the game that changed the rules. Not because it affected the outcome, but because the loudest cheer of this game was when the Chiefs won the coin toss. The crowd went crazy, and I think that was when Roger Goodell said, okay, we got to do something here. But nonetheless, Chiefs have a chance to, hey, all we got to do is, go down the field, score a touchdown, and we're going to the Super Bowl despite this kind of not great performance by Mahomes. However, Mahomes definitely does not finish this drive well. He tries to fit it through a tight window, gets deflected and intercepted. Maybe not the worst play in the world, worst interception in the world by him, but still did throw an interception, and it was third down anyway, so has to go in the bad category right there. Next up is this one that I'm imagining a lot of people don't even remember. I only remembered it because I was going through each of these games to, look at these. But the Jaguars-Chiefs playoff game, this was the divisional round. Remember, the Jaguars had that big comeback against the Chargers. We're now here where Mahomes is banged up. Like I said, sometimes in the final 10 minutes, you got to ice the game. They're up 3 points, got to make sure they go up 10 points, and that's what Mahomes did. He had this actually really nice play to finish it off. Remember, he was banged up. He missed time in that game. Yep, definitely another perfect one here. We can move on to the conference championship the very next week, where we would have this situation, and I'm actually a little conflicted on, well, actually, it's the next one I'm a little conflicted on. This one, not conflicted at all. One you might have forgotten about. They had a few minutes left in the fourth quarter, tied 20-20, and Mahomes doesn't get it done. I mean, they flipped this one right here. They are not in field goal range. They do not kick the field goal to go ahead, and because of that, then they give the ball back to Cincinnati. Had a chance to lose that game and lose back-to-back conference championships to Cincinnati. So I got to put it in the bad one. I mean, he did not get it done in that situation. And later on, this is the one I'm conflicted about, and I think people will have disagreements on how this should be ruled. So pausing it right here to set the stage, barely any time left. There was a nice punt return that even gave them a chance right here. Mahomes is going to decide to scramble. They have no timeouts, so he has to get out of bounds. He does get out of bounds right here. I've paused it. 9 seconds left at the 40. What do we rule this? I mean, as of right now, you could try a 57-yard field goal. I don't know if Harrison Butker makes it or not. Joseph Asai ended up hitting him out of bounds. That drew a 15-yard penalty, which put them in field goal range. I think I'm just not going to score this one because I don't know. You could argue it was perfect. Ultimately, the results were perfect. But also, was it because of him or did it just work out that way? I don't know. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, so I'll mention it now. I did not include ones where he did not throw the ball and they ran out the clock or were able to ice the game just with him, just rushing the ball. I did not include those ones, only the ones where he threw the ball to ice the game, just in case there's any confusion there. But okay, the next one is a Super Bowl, actually. The next week, we had this. I'm going to pause it right here. The Philadelphia Eagles just tied the game 35-35 with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left. That was the last play Jalen Hurts would run of that season. You're going to see Patrick Mahomes then steps up. He's going to outrun the Eagles on this one, got in the field goal range. There was the, I guess controversial holding penalty, but I think most people agree was a holding penalty that helped them ice the game. The Chiefs were able to win as the clock expired. So moving on, obviously that last one was perfect. So we're now at 9 perfects, 1 good, not perfect, and 2 bad. We now have this situation, which is a 3rd down and 6. The Chiefs are currently up 3 points. This is in the divisional round. This was last season, the wide right part 2 game. This one barely qualifies, but it was the final 10 minutes. The Chiefs did have a chance to ice the game, go up 10 points, which maybe wouldn't have even iced the game here, but, it still kind of counts. Mahomes would not convert this one. There was actually a flag, though, so he got another opportunity, but then here still was not able to convert. So, yeah, that one has to go in the bad category right there, right? I mean, that's just kind of where you have to put it. Ultimately, the Bills obviously missed the field goal, and then the Chiefs were able to kill the clock, but only through running the ball. Mahomes didn't touch the ball other than to hand it off, so not including that there. The next week in the conference championship, so the Ravens obviously really beat themselves a lot in this game, but when they finally got something going, they kicked a field goal to make it a 7-point game. You see Mahomes on a 3rd and 9 was able to ice it right here. They didn't score points, but they iced the game. So still including that. That is another one in the perfect category. So yeah, you have that. Of course, we then have to go over to the San Francisco Super Bowl, where there were several moments that Mahomes had here. So what's going to happen on this one is this is a 3rd down and goal situation. The Chiefs were down 3 points heading into this drive, but they lead a nice drive to get here. Now, they did not finish the drive. They did not take the lead. So again, if the categories are perfect, good but not perfect, and bad, this one can't fall in the perfect category, even if it was a game-tying drive. So I think I'm going to have to put it in this tier. And then next, and this one's kind of tough to put it in a tier. This is one you could definitely argue if you want, but the Chiefs barely had any time left. Again, because they didn't score a touchdown last time, the 49ers had a chance to kick a game-winning field goal since it was tied and perhaps have that be the end of the game. But they weren't quite able to kill the rest of the clock. They instead kicked the go-ahead field goal. Mahomes, as you see, able to get Kelsey the ball. They get out of bounds, so they had a timeout at the 10, but a pass to Kelsey wasn't able to convert for the go-ahead touchdown. Instead, they settle for a game-tying field goal. So, again, very good, and honestly as close to perfect as you can get without it actually being perfect, but it technically wasn't perfect, so got to put it in that tier. Of course, in the overtime in the Super Bowl, as you know, time's about to expire in the first overtime period here, the 49ers took the lead. They scored a field goal to make it 22-19, but Mahomes was able to finish this drive off, scores a touchdown, so yet another one in the perfect category. So that's all the ones heading into this year. There were a couple opportunities this season as well. Now, I actually have to put another one in the perfect category that I forgot to put earlier, where they technically did have a drive that it was a pretty easy one, but they had a drive against Houston where they were able to make it go from 8 to up 2 scores with like 5 minutes left. So got to include that one as well. But then this was against Buffalo. There's actually 2 more that we have to talk about, both against Buffalo here. First, this one. So this was it's 3rd down and goal now. There was a sack that kind of pushed them back, and it wasn't really Mahomes' fault, but hey, some of the plays that worked weren't because of him either, so it all has to be included, right? But tied with 3.5 minutes left now, the Chiefs were able to take the lead, but they weren't ultimately able to score a touchdown, which you would have liked. So because of that, I'm going to have to put it in the good but not perfect tier as well. So there's that one. And finally, the one you see on your screen. This one, again, maybe not the highest degree of difficulty, but if I'm going to score the ones that weren't his fault that went wrong, I also have to score the ones that weren't maybe because of him that went right. As you see, Mahomes, and the Chiefs were able to kill the clock. A lot of this went to the running backs, but still, nonetheless, he did his job. So that means that out of in these situations, I have exactly 20 of these opportunities. Only in 3 of them did he do what I would consider not getting it done. In well over half, he does exactly what you ask for, and then in 4 of them, he does a lot of what you would ask for. That's pretty impressive. Shocker, Mahomes is very good at stuff. It does let you know, though, that he's not always perfect, and you can maybe get some moments where it's not a game over if he has the ball in his hands with a minute left. So strategy-wise, you still, you can factor that in. But it's pretty not a great situation if you have to hope that your defense can stop him in a big spot. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.